Hi, I'm Nat.
And I'm Guy, and it looks like Disney has an app.
Yeah, for Disney adults that want to date each other, which, I mean, at least that way maybe they can find another obsession other than Disney, but...
Well, and a couple was at Coldplay. I don't think they met on the Disney app, but they were busted at the concert. We will talk about that.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Sure. Starting with the Coldplay couple. So, according to Popbase, Coldplay accidentally exposed an alleged affair between astronomer CEO Andy Byron and his colleague Kristen Cabot at one of their recent concerts.
Yeah, and they were busted on the, what do you call the giant screen?
The giant screen.
The Jumbotron.
The Kiss Cam.
The Jumbotron or the Kiss Cam.
Yeah. Okay.
And one second, I'm going to get my headphones. This being said, the internet sleuths were on this right away. They found out who these people were. His wife got notified. I mean, this whole thing is...
Do you think the wife knew? No, I didn't know.
No. Yeah, we'll get into it. I think I tagged I bookmarked some of the stuff.
Okay. Let's first see. There's probably Coldplay music, isn't there?
Oh, no. Hold on. You're going to want to play it because there's not too much Coldplay music, and he calls it out as they're having an affair. Okay. So turn it up if you can.
It's as high as it goes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Oh, look at these.
And I don't think it would have been a big deal if the internet didn't take it so seriously. I mean, it blew up over everything. Major newspapers have written 4 articles on this already. I mean, one newspaper has written 4 articles. Every national newspaper has written at least 1 article about this.
I mean, if they would have just done that and maybe kissed, this wouldn't be such a big story. But because they try to, hide and be all weird, it got picked up. If they would just kind of kept... I mean, cheating is horrible, bad on these two. But still, if they would have just kept going with, oh, yeah, we're just dancing, it would not have been a story unless, the wife saw it. But because they hid and stuff, it made it a lot worse. But yes.
Yeah, let's go into it a little bit.
So Mario, and then we'll get your opinions on cheating and stuff. Mario Naufal says, Coldplay Kiss Cam chaos, cheating CEO issues statement, you deserve better from me. Andy Byron, CEO of Astronomer, was caught cozying up to his chief people officer on the Coldplay Kiss Cam. Clearly a people person. Andy now says it was a deeply personal mistake playing out on a very public stage. And he says he's taking time to reflect and ask for privacy, but not before quoting Coldplay, lights will guide you home and I will try to fix you. Somebody needs to try to fix you.
And he made a statement as well.
Which is this one?
Yeah.
I mean, that was bits of it.
So he runs a major tech company, I believe, and she works for him in the HR department.
Yeah, the people department.
They actually came out with public statements before her hiring. He was praising her. She was saying he has such good energy. So I think this affair had been going on for a long time. She was probably hired in because this was going on.
So Andy Byron says, I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circulating online and the disappointment it's caused. What was supposed to be a night of music and joy turned into a deeply personal mistake playing out on a very public stage. I want to sincerely apologize to my wife, my family, and the team and Astronomer. You deserve better from me as a partner, as a father, and as a leader. This is not who I want to be or how I represent the company I helped build. I'm taking time to reflect, to take accountability, and to figure out the next steps personally and professionally. I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. Whatever. I respect artists and entertainers.
He's in a public place, so you have the rights to take photos and videos.
Well, not a public place, but you, when you're in a concert, it's one of those spaces where you kind of acknowledge you could be filmed or videotaped by anybody. So it says, I respect... but this is interesting what he said. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can all think more deeply about the impact of turning someone's life into a spectacle. As a friend once said, and then he quotes
He's trying to play the victim here.
Yes.
This is craziness.
But, I mean, just the power disparity is
of what?
Crazy. Of she's his employee. And just with that, there could be a bunch of lawsuits for the company. So he's not just affecting his wife and his family, but he's affecting the whole company.
Well, I think he's going to lose his job because of that. That's going to open up to lawsuits. So the company is going to have to get rid of him if they're smart. If they're not, anytime they get rid of her, there's going to be a lawsuit because of this.
And it's a liability already just by having the affair. How dumb can you be?
Oh, and it's going to be interesting to see if what does his wife do, because his wife's already removed her first name from her social media accounts because everybody was messaging her about this, sending her the video. So, yeah.
I mean, it must be tough, but at the same time, like, I don't know, what would you do?
I would leave the person if they're cheating. If there's somebody's cheating on you, you should leave them.
Yes.
Period. Yeah.
But like, for example, if you were these two idiots,
you should have just waved to the camera. You didn't even have to kiss or anything. You just wave.
Yeah. Or just go like, oh, and then move. Like, but it was her that kind of ducked first. So,
yeah.
But still, like, they both are very dumb.
Yeah.
And again, like, if you don't, I mean, yes, try to work things out. Yes, we've normalized cheating in today's culture, which I think is horrible. But if you don't want to be with a person, be upfront about it before you continue to destroy everything. Yeah. Especially since he has kids, a family, etc.
Well, I'm sure because everybody's been outed in this situation so quickly, and the wife's social media is absolutely swarmed. I'm sure divorce lawyers are going to be in her DMs right now. It's going to be very interesting. He has a lot of money because he's a huge tech CEO, so I would expect a split on her behalf.
I mean, the wife might come out pretty good out of this, but still the humiliation, the fact that, or there's the other possibility also normalized in our culture that maybe they had an open relationship, but now she's just like, well, I didn't want it to come out about me either. So maybe this was permitted and maybe now they're just trying to make it seem as if it was like more cheating than it actually was because it was so public to kind of save their reputations that they weren't in an open relationship. I don't know.
I doubt that.
I mean, at the highest levels, people do that a lot.
I doubt it. No.
Which I find horrible and not a good idea.
And I would also say on his behalf, if I'm assuming he doesn't own the company. If he doesn't own the company, he's probably going to get fired. It's going to be really hard for him to get a new job. This may actually be an opportunity for a company that can't afford a big CEO to maybe scoop him up on the cheap, because I don't think big companies are going to hire him because he put his current company at so much risk. As a risk management assessment, they're not going to want to hire him, other large companies.
No, he's mostly unhireable now. But Rafa says, hello, Rafa,
good
night.
To see you,
and
Rafa.
he also says, if they had acted normally, maybe no one would have noticed. Exactly. But I think when you, like, because they knew they were doing something wrong, the kind of fight or flight response was already there because they kind of knew they weren't supposed to be doing that.
Okay, let's go into the next article. We spent quite a while on that little affair there. Adult Disney, this is what you put on the cover. So usually I choose the picture for the cover. She did tonight.
Well, I make it, but you choose it. Hold on. Rafa has one more comment about this. Those open relationships are not just bad ideas. They are sick and degenerate. You said it better than I did, but exactly.
This is pretty ballsy, bringing your affair to
but it's funny because, I'll go a little bit more into this story, sorry. But if we all remember the Try Guys thing that happened when Nick was his name? I forgot his name. These YouTubers that were pretty big, but then he got caught cheating with one of their employees as well, and it became this huge thing. They had to come out and make an apology. SNL made fun of them. The Try Guys were huge on YouTube. This guy also specifically, Nick? What was his name? Well,
just tell the story.
He was the wife guy. So he and his wife were always showing off how good their marriage was and their kids and etc. And on the side, he was having an affair with one of his employees, and they got discovered at a concert as well. So don't go to concerts if you're having affairs. Just don't have affairs.
And that's why we're constantly fighting on camera, so nobody gets the wrong idea that we're actually happy.
And I mean, we do spend 24/7 together as well. So,
okay, let's go into the next article here. And this was the Disney dating app, and I was surprised to see this. I got this article from Jeremy from The Quarter, and he previewed this on his show. So
from the Daily Mail, inside the new Disney adult dating app designed to connect single theme park enthusiasts, Disney adult Joel Astoria II, 32 from Orlando, Florida, is making the app. He spoke to the Daily Mail about what you should expect. Get ready, Disney fans, because there's a dating app coming that's designed to help single theme park enthusiasts find their happily ever after. The app called Single Riders. Single Rider is a thing that they have in Disney.
Well, 1 second here. Disney is dying out, and I think like, yeah, you are getting some extremely progressives that weirdly attach themselves to Disney as adults in a strange way. And I think this is going to be directed towards them. But that is a very small segment of society.
That's why they can't find partners.
This is very niche. I don't think I don't think there's enough of a market
I think there's a bit more than people realize, unfortunately. People that haven't grown up.
I think a bunch of furries and things like that will be on this app.
Probably. I mean, they all kind of intersect in the end. The app, called Single Riders, is set to start beta testing later this year and will launch to everyone in early 2026. Creator and self-proclaimed Disney adult Joel Astoria II spoke exclusively about it, how the idea came to him. During his own quest to find love. About 2 years ago, I was ghosted on a first date I had set up through a dating app, he explained. With a free afternoon, I did what any local Disney adult might do. I headed to Hollywood Studios for a few drinks and some solo park time. I think people would just go to a normal bar without having to pay the entry fee. But whatever. While walking around, it hit me how hard it was to find someone who truly shared my love for Disney. That's when the idea sparked, a dating app for Disney adults and theme park lovers. Joe instantly knew he was onto something and took to TikTok to share his idea, and immediately it absolutely took off. His video about it ranked in thousands of views and comments, and that only cemented how much an app like this was needed. And we need to go back to being mature adults.
Well, yeah, and this might build the wrong foundation.
Oh, this is the guy.
Oh, of course. This would build the wrong foundation for a relationship. Yeah, you share a hobby that really doesn't have any in-depth meaning to it. Like, one good thing that couples might want to share is politics. If you disagree on politics, I think that's going to cause long-term issues, because the issues in politics are in general family life and stuff like this. A lot of couples don't talk politics beforehand, and then they have a kid, and then a lot of this stuff starts coming out based on the morals and foundations in which they want to raise their kid. And then whoever's the dominant personality in the relationship maybe will take control and get their way, but the other person starts being resentful because they never had these conversations.
Usually it's the wife. But yeah, and I mean, we share a bunch of different things, but we also differ in a lot of our interests, which I think is important, because otherwise, what are you bringing to the relationship? Or if you just focus on that one thing you both agree on or like, then the rest of the things kind of fall off to the wayside and you lose yourself within the relationship as well. But let's continue to see what happens. I didn't want to see that shot of him. The response was way bigger than I expected. I knew I had something special. But Joe had one problem. He had no idea how to create an app and didn't have any programming experience. He spent nearly 2 years looking for the right person to help bring it to life. And eventually he met tech genius Adam Tucker, 37, from New Jersey. These are all millennials.
Okay, wait 1 second. Like, he says this was a great idea, but he didn't know how to make it. The only good part of this idea is the fact that it is so stupid that people are gonna talk about it in an article. So he is gonna get free marketing for this. So this dating app, whenever it does come out, I'm definitely going to talk about it again. It's gonna get a ton of free marketing, not just from me, but a lot of independent media and even mainstream media. So yeah, as far as the marketing goes, it will be more successful than it normally should have been, because it should have got no attention.
But maybe, I mean, again, maybe it is something that would have a lot more people interested than we think, because Adam added, I remember thinking when I heard about his idea, wait, this isn't already a mobile app? Which, I mean, since there's like farmers that date, what is it called? There's farmer dating apps and a bunch of different like very niche dating apps. So I mean, I also probably already assumed it existed.
But Disney is kind of dying right now. That's the thing.
But not for these people. These are the pixie dusters that will do anything to continue trying to live in their delusion.
Okay.
No?
Well, let's go into the next story.
But I want to keep talking about it.
Okay. Let's keep talking. Oh, wow.
That's the programmer and his wife.
Wow. They're a winning couple. Is that gingerbread ears?
Yes.
You can eat those ears?
I'm sure she would try. They started talking about officially developing it, building it from the ground up. They're aiming for a full launch in spring or summer of 2026. So stay tuned and we'll talk about the launch then. They intend for normal use of the app to be completely free.
What's that ad on the side?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles spark outrage over LGBT character who takes over from Raphael.
Okay, we might have to talk about that tomorrow.
Sure. But yeah, they'll have premium features. It'll be like Tinder for weirdos.
They're making it look like Walt and Mickey are dating.
That's weird. But I mean, in a way, I would say might be a good idea because they'll find each other and maybe find other interests. But again, if you're that into Disney that you consider yourself a Disney adult, a childless millennial, one of these crazy people, I don't think you're fully mentally mature to have a relationship if you base so much of your life on just one thing. It's okay to have to have likes and things that you're passionate about, but the people that make it their only thing and their only identity are no different to the people from the alphabet community that's the only important thing about them and the only thing that they talk about.
Okay, the next one. Oh, I think you did move this up. Oh no, that's the next one.
And Rafa says, my wife had good values when we met, but I turned her full far right.
Yeah.
I turned you full far right.
You did the same to me, but it's usually the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Men will either turn or keep their wives conservative.
Yeah. Well, you just didn't care about politics when we met.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about the statistics in the United States about a lot of men in the United States that are conservative going overseas because women in the United States just don't have conservative values for the most part. Even if they do, they have a lot of feminist tendencies. Mm-hmm. So they're tending to go overseas to find wives. They're bringing them back. The ones that bring them back to the cities ended up creating these nightmare situations of them turning liberal. But that's why a lot of men that marry conservative women from overseas move to the countryside.
Mm-hmm. But also people that meet in church and stuff that do at least talk about their values. But with the whole new trad wife movement online, and also a lot of mommy bloggers have started to kind of infiltrate the whole wives and mothers space with a lot of these ideas of, if you have to ask your husband to take out the trash, that means he doesn't care about you. A lot of insidious feminist ideology is being, put into with a lot of these groups.
I mean, in conservatism, feminism has such deep roots, especially in the primary Western countries like Canada, the United States, and the EU, that even conservative women in these countries are very feminist.
Or they're very easily swayed by just dumb arguments, like, your husband doesn't love you because he doesn't take out the trash.
Okay, let's get into the next story.
Okay, hold on. No, there we go. So from Inevitable West, breaking disorder breaks out in Epping after a young girl was essayed by an illegal migrant. People are fed up.
Yeah, and this is kind of happening all over right now, not just in the UK, but it's happening a lot in Spain. There is a huge uprising. The mainstream media is not reporting on this, and the independent media is really calling it out right now. It's starting to come to a boiling point, and the leadership of this country will pay lip service and actually acknowledge the problem for the first time. But behind closed doors, all their policies are already put in law, put in place. So they just keep bringing in immigrants and creating a two-tiered legal system, which causes resentment from the original native population of wherever it is and the people they're bringing in.
And in Spain, both in Spain and in the UK, from what I've seen about these protests, they've been trying to first blame it on, a lot of it is of those tourism protests, which is just not the case. It's against migrants, illegal migrants, but they also have tried to cover it up and say that they're protesting for different things, or that they're being, misled by the far right, etc. So should we watch it?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
There's too much violence in it.
No, there's not. It's not nothing.
Get it! Fuck it up. Hello guys, this is a fucking epic live. What are you doing? What are you telling me?
I could have broken his knee.
It wasn't that high of a jump
Guys
for
got
him,
a
man.
fucking shield.
He had a shield. Okay, that's good. Now, we see over in the UK and places like this, they're arresting people for memes. They're arresting people for praying in the street. The two-tier justice system over there is absolutely ridiculous. This was getting a little violent. The police didn't seem to mind. They just left right away. If these people would have been making memes or invoking their free speech rights, which they at one time thought that they had, they're finding out now that they don't. The police might have arrested them, but Not in this case.
Well, I think the crowd was a little bit too big, because when they do arrest people, they go to people's houses that posted a meme, and then they arrest them there because it's only one person.
Yeah, but the immigration, what do you call it?
Problem?
Not just the immigration
Chaos?
problem, but the
Ideology?
the local.
Chaos?
Okay, let's go on to the next story.
Well, I was trying to give you the word.
Yeah.
But what were you going to say?
Nothing.
Say it.
I can't remember. That's why I said go to the next story.
Well, what I was going to say is that a lot of these people, I mean, the protests are getting bigger and bigger, and more people are joining once they realize what the actual problem is, especially with the cases that have been hidden for 20 years about migrants doing disgusting things to women and girls. But the media will still continue to paint them as far right and trying to minimize it. But at one point, they're going to have to acknowledge what's happening, or at least stop trying to lie. But someone that is doing something that
is Keir Starmer.
Where is Keir Starmer? I lost him.
And I got this just before we went on the air,
Oh,
actually.
here it is. Yeah.
And he's trying to change
that's why I
change the voting age, or he is changing the voting age to 16 in the UK. And we talked about this about a month and a half ago in Canada. They put legislation for local elections to make the voting age 16, and they're trying to do it nationwide. The progressive movement is slipping, and the only way they can kind of keep the system captured is to lower the voting age, because these younger kids are easily manipulated. He did have somewhat of a good point, and I'll go into that, but I disagree with lowering the voting age to 16.
Yeah. Say what I was going to say after.
I think it's really important that 16 and 17-year-olds have the vote, because they're old enough to go out to work. They're old enough to pay taxes, so to pay in. And I think if you pay in, you should have the opportunity to say what you want your money spent on, which way the government should go. So I'm really pleased that we're able to bring more young people into our democracy and give them the chance to have a say over how their taxes are going to be paid and what they're going to be used for. I think it's really important.
The thing is,
Okay, you go first.
if we go back to that video that we were just playing and see, look at a lot of the people there, and especially the ones that were doing the most chaotic things, they were all very young. I would say some of them are probably minors.
The younger generation is really turning conservative, and if you're going to give voting rights to immigrants that are 16 and 17, they're definitely conservative, and their parents have raised them in conservative households. I think this could highly backfire. I don't think they fully planned this thing out.
No.
That being said, he did mention taxes, and he's saying some of these kids can start working at 16 and 17. And I am willing to make the concession. I think the right to vote would be somebody that is paying taxes. That's when you should have the right to vote. I think the things are instinctually connected, but most 16 and 17-year-olds do not work. So I would not in favor of giving a blanket voting right to that group.
Mm-hmm. But then again, I mean, if anybody that pays taxes can vote, then we get into the whole discussion of, well, but illegal migrants pay taxes. Why can't they vote?
No, they don't. They still
They do it illegally, I know.
So they still identities of other people in order to pay taxes. So yeah, that wouldn't be appropriate.
Some would still try to make that argument.
And prisoners don't pay taxes either.
No.
So it would automatically. So if you make the threshold, whoever pays taxes would have the right to vote. It's somewhat coherent, but in that particular block of 16 and 17-year-olds, the majority of those kids don't work. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And now maybe another point for your little scorecard there from Benny Johnson. Breaking, Attorney General Pam Bondi announces Epstein grand jury files will be unsealed tomorrow in court.
Yeah, and I don't trust this at all.
No?
No. I still think the whole thing is a trap and a setup. We'll wait and see what happens here.
But you don't think this is part of them making them fall into the trap?
This isn't a trap or a setup, and this is actually a cover-up. They're just trying to release certain portions of the evidence. And like I said yesterday, it's a 4-step process. We want, number one, the documents. We want them unsealed. Whatever can't be unsealed needs to be at least shown to private counsel, I guess, and then they can talk about what wasn't able to be seen. We want the videos. On top of the videos, we want testimony from Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, and then we want what was the thing I said January 6th was yesterday?
Special committee?
Yeah, and then there has to be a special committee as well. You really need all 4 steps. You can't just do one, because if you're just doing one, it's easy to manipulate what you're kind of releasing. We want to see the whole thing. They built this whole thing of getting Kash Patel in there, of getting Pam Bondi in there, even getting Trump in there, and Dan Bongino. They all talked about this and how they were going to release it and be transparent. So if this isn't a trap for the Democrats, I expect to see all that.
You don't think they're releasing that's what they're doing?
Yeah, I think they're setting up a trap. But I'm saying if it's not.
Because it says Trump directs AG to release Epstein case grand jury transcripts.
How many times has he done that now? A lot. He said it twice 3 days ago. And then when he first came into office, he said, oh, yeah, the next day. And then she said 10,000 files are on my desk. We're releasing it tomorrow. They keep saying this. If instead of saying this, if they would have just right from the beginning said, we're investigating this, people would have given them time. That's why I think it's a trap.
So you think that this will have nothing pertinent?
No.
Okay.
I think it's a trap.
So when would they, if it is a trap, when would they release the actual documents?
Like I said, they need to get people to testify in a hearing and perjure themselves. And they need to ask these people direct questions they bring on the stand, so they will perjure themselves. And once they do perjure themselves, then they can release the documents after that those hearings are done, and then they can make prosecutions on those people that are in the videos and in the documents. And then they can have Ghislaine Maxwell as an eyewitness testimony to go on top of the video evidence and the documentation evidence as well. And then they can also get people to flip that have perjured themselves, and then they can show them the video saying, well, we actually do have the evidence, so flip a couple of the people that are going to perjure themselves. That's how you build a case.
Do you want me to read into it?
Oh, you can go ahead.
Okay. President Trump said Thursday he's directed Attorney General Pam Bondi to release all relevant grand jury testimony in the case of disgraced financier disgusting person Jeffrey Epstein, subject to court approval. The big picture, Trump has faced mounting pressure, including from MAGA circles, to take further action since his administration said a review found no evidence that convicted disgusting offender and disgraced financier Epstein kept a client list or he was offed. That's it, basically.
Yeah, so I'll see in a month and a half, and I'll make my decision then. I don't expect anything to really happen right now. He's in the process of setting this trap. If it's a trap, if it's not a trap, I'm going to be calling him out in a month and a half.
Okay.
And I see a lot of people saying, oh, this is getting boring now. This is getting boring now. It's not getting boring for me. I'm just going to give it some time, see what happens. The people that are trying to say this is getting boring are the people that want to fall in line and want an excuse to, pray to fucking... What's his name? Yeah. Pray to, what did they call me? Pope Trump. Yeah.
What did Jones?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Jones.
Alex Jones yesterday.
The Holy Golden Toad. That's what he called it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Iran thing really, he won a little bit of breathing room on something like this because of what happened in Iran. I didn't want to.
People,
yeah. Okay, let's go.
But speaking of, he is dealing with something else as well at this point. From Bo Loudon, Caroline Levitt just announced President Trump has been diagnosed with chronic venous insufficiency after swelling in his legs. Nothing serious. Do you want to watch it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. This was a big story today.
That his leg is swollen?
Well, no, this is a big story because of Joe Biden. When Joe Biden kept concealing when he was in bad health or any little thing, they would not come out. So the fact that they're being very transparent with the president's health right from the beginning, I think is very important. And it's a different way the administration is handling it.
On another note, I know that many in the media have been speculating about bruising on the president's hand and also swelling in the president's legs. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type, natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results are within...
That's a while ago.
Just fast forward to the end, maybe. And the volume's the correct level. It's just the headphones can be adjusted.
Can you up my headphone level?
Oh, okay.
Because I can't hear. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. I thought we could read each other's minds, but apparently we can't.
Yeah, keep playing it.
Oh.
Which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here. So the president wanted me to share that note with all of you. I'm happy to take further questions on it. We will provide the memorandum from the president's position to all of you, as we always do.
Okay. And yeah, it's good to see that they're being transparent. I mean, he looks like it's not a Joe Biden situation here.
No.
But the fact that the Biden administration covered it up so heavily, and now that they're being brought into court, they're all pleading the fifth when it comes to his mental
acuity.
Acuity, yeah.
But also, I mean, it might be all of the McDonald's and Diet Coke, so maybe switch up the diet a little bit for Trump, just so he lasts a bit longer.
Let him have a good final couple of years there.
Well, yeah, but he still needs to stick around for the next 3 at least.
Well, they got JD there. Okay, let's keep going here.
Okay. From Nick Sortor, wow, an illegal migrant in California has been charged for staging a kidnapping and attempting to frame ICE. This kidnapping hoax is directly out of the Democrats' playbook. Their rhetoric enabled this. Mexican national Julie Calderon pretended she was taken by ICE in a Jack in the Box parking lot. This scheme involved a fake press conference, police report, and GoFundMe. Calderon was found roaming free after convincing left-wing activists that she was in custody. DHS says she was regularly using her iPhone, although her attorney pretended like she had no real ability to contact him or her family under the guise that she was being held hostage.
Yeah, and this is a little bit crazy, and this is why you're going to have to take all these things with a grain of salt. When they kept calling Donald Trump the mustache man, and this is the main subject now, are these ICE raids and the deportation. They want to have a George Floyd situation, and if they can't find one, which they can't because Trump is being very cautious on the narrative and how he's going about these things. If they can't find that situation, they're going to manufacture one. So
this was more of a Jussie Smollett situation.
This was an individually manufactured thing by this particular illegal immigrant to get a GoFundMe going. Mm-hmm. But I could definitely see if the left was properly funded right now, they would have set something like this up. I could see that for sure.
Migrant in California is charged with staging a fake kidnapping and blaming federal agents or people working with them. Correspondent Matt Finn reporting live on this from LA. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Martha. This woman is here illegally, a Mexican national. She goes by Julie Calderon, and the feds say she's being charged with lying to police.
And I just, bless you.
Thank you. I was trying not to sneeze, but.
Okay, we can continue.
Okay.
God is with us.
That was the pause.
And conspiracy for this elaborate hoax that they believe was meant to incite even more tension and also possibly make some money. Federal investigators say a key piece of evidence, photos. Calderon and her co-conspirators had pictures ready, staged to make it look like she was in custody with a dirty face, even removing her shoelaces. But the feds say there's at least one glaring error, because she would have been asked to take off the necklace in an official federal photo. The U.S. government says surveillance video helped them crack the case. The feds say this woman lied about being kidnapped by federal agents at a Jack in the Box here in L.A., taken to San Ysidro to the south, and asked to self-deport, but she refused, so she was held in a warehouse. But the feds say they caught her roaming free in the Bakersfield area, hundreds of miles north. This scheme went to extremes: a filed police report, a GoFundMe, even a press conference announcing her disappearance.
So in this very parking lot a week ago.
And pause it for a sec. And I'm unaware if they actually staged the full kidnapping itself. So they probably did, because it looks like they had security video from the Jack in the Box.
Formed men in unmarked cars kidnapped Julie.
Fear mother.
And with her courage and her strength, even though we don't know where Julie is and we don't know when we will find her, Julie has managed to make 2 phone calls to the family since she's been kidnapped.
The Department of Justice says Calderon was indeed using her iPhone during her alleged disappearance, which helped them locate her. She faces a maximum of 10 years if convicted. The U.S. attorney here in L.A. says, quote, dangerous rhetoric that ICE agents are kidnapping illegal migrants is being recklessly peddled by politicians and echoed in the media to inflame the public and discredit our courageous federal agents. We do have calls into that attorney who you saw in that video who is representing this woman. And also there are also co-conspirators listed throughout this federal complaint.
Okay,
so we
that's
expect
good.
them.
And yeah, I would expect to see more of this over the next 3 years. This is their issue. This is what they're running on. This is what they want to make the division about. The issue they're going to have is Americans are looking all around the world, like in Canada, like in the EU, the UK, Ireland. I mean, they're looking everywhere. Even in Mexico, Mexicans want the immigrants out. So they're looking around the world, and the only country that's actually kicking the immigrants out, not just giving lip service, is Donald Trump. So now you have this baseline. Is this going to work, or is it not going to work? So I think Americans are behind this overall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And sorry.
What was the next?
Okay, we'll go to the next story.
Yeah.
Sure. So I think Rafa had a comment. Hold on. Yes. Rafa says, do you remember the legendary hero-based stickman?
No. What was that?
I don't know.
Maybe he'll write it. Okay, let's continue.
Okay. I was trying to look it up, but okay.
And what was the vote about?
From Benny Johnson, breaking, the House has passed a bill to prevent the creation of a central bank digital currency, 219 to 210.
Oh, to prevent I had grabbed this really quick because I see central bank digital currency. I thought they voted for it. So this is fantastic.
So, I mean, according to Benny, it would help prevent it.
Well, no, not necessarily, because I know kind of a lot about the subject.
I know, but...
And the issue is, they're going to vote down a CBDC because they want to get a stablecoin in there, which is a private issuer. They want to go around the Fed. They don't want the Fed to have control of the digital currency. This is how Donald Trump is trying to structure this thing. So... I had a feeling they were going to knock down a CBDC. There's going to be stablecoin legislation coming up definitely soon. So just because there is no CBDC doesn't mean there's not going to be digital currency. It's just going to be in a slightly different form, not issued out by the Fed, is my guess.
Mm-hmm. And Reuters says U.S. House sends Genius Act stablecoin bill to Trump to sign.
Oh, I hear. Yeah. So I did grab another article on this, so we can read this. So yeah, this is what kind of they knocked down the CBDC, which would have been government issued, and they're going with stablecoin, which is more of private issuers, and they're starting to legislate this. So they're definitely going forward with digital currency. They're just trying to play magic, show you this hand while they're actually putting the digital currency into effect with the other hand. Okay, let's read a little bit about the Genius Act.
So the House of Representatives on Thursday passed a bill to create regulatory framework for U.S. dollar-pegged cryptocurrency tokens known as stablecoins, sending the bill to President Donald Trump, who is expected to sign it into law.
Yeah, so it's already done. It's basically legislation. It just goes to Trump to sign. The only way it wouldn't become legislation is if Trump decides not to sign, but Trump has been pushing this the whole way, so it's basically law at this point.
The vote marks a watershed moment for the digital asset industry, which has been pushing for federal legislation for years and poured money into last year's elections in order to promote cryptocurrency candidates. Shares of crypto-related companies were mostly higher after passage of the bill, dubbed the Genius Act, that would expand the Commodity Futures Trading Commission's oversight of the industry. Bitcoin, the largest cryptocurrency, was down 0.54%, trading near a record high reached earlier this week. Ethereum rose 1.42%.
Yeah, and weird things have been going on with the Bitcoin market. If you watch the show, you know I'm constantly saying this. Massive amounts of Bitcoin are being sold to companies like BlackRock in the hundreds of thousands, which should be shooting the stock up, considering when Tesla bought merely 1,000 Bitcoin quite a few years ago, the stocks skyrocketed. People can't find the actual transactions on the blockchain of a lot of these big buyouts from these companies of Bitcoin. So something strange is going on. They're trying to legislate it. We'll just leave it at that, and we'll just continue to inform you as more news comes up on digital currency. Okay, let's go to the next story here.
Okay. From Shadow of Ezra, Barack Obama says young boys need a gay man in their life. That would just be a great title. For guidance, and that having only a father around isn't enough. He believes being around gay men helps boys develop emotional awareness, empathy, and a broader perspective. And I'll just say this quickly, in my opinion. If things happen, might also make them gay. But Obama recalled that one of his most important mentors was a gay professor who shaped his views on compassion and humility.
They got Big Mike there, so let's see what they got to say.
They're trying really hard to make it seem like they like each other.
And she doesn't look like she likes him too much. Or he doesn't look like
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
One dad. No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah.
Usually that's the mother.
There's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I think, in my opinion, Barack Obama might be gay. And he is extremely biased. And he's going to say in a minute, everybody should have a friend so they can expose their child to somebody gay. Like, if you have a friend that's gay, okay, you have a friend that's gay. Don't go looking for a social justice shield or somebody in your friend circle. Oh, I need a gay. Like, that's what he's going to say in a moment. I've watched this a couple of times.
Right? Yeah. One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of...
And let's remember, he never supported gay marriage when he got into he ran into office. Not until after he was elected. The first president to openly support gay marriage was Donald Trump. So,
my favorite professors, and was a great guy, and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
So pimp out your kids.
And let's just not forget, and I'm not saying it's true or false, Tucker Carlson interviewed the former crackhead that said he was giving Barack Obama BJs. So, and more than just BJs. And this was on a regular basis in Chicago before Barack Obama was president.
But I mean, I've seen
Tucker interviews that person on his show on YouTube. If you do want to watch the whole hour-and-a-half interview,
I think it's on X because he couldn't have it on YouTube.
No, he had it on YouTube because I watched it there.
I hadn't seen it. I had seen it circulating, but I hadn't actually heard it because I hadn't had time. But I mean, that's what a mother is for. That's the whole role of a mother, to help inculcate into kids empathy, compassion, etc. You don't need a gay man to do that to your child.
You should have, in an ideal situation, you have a mother and a father, and they should be able to provide the guidance that the child needs. So, and if you have an older brother or an older sister, they can help as well. Yeah. That's why it's called a family unit. We don't need the government. We don't need a bunch of gay friends that we're bringing in
just to teach your child about things.
Okay,
and that's also why community, like broader community, is important, like extended family, etc. Because that also helps build up a child. But because now everybody's insular or divorced, kids don't get that much exposure to other adults and other thinking and other, ways of learning compassion, etc. But again, where's the mother in this scenario?
Okay, what's the next story here?
Next, I think, Rafa says, so that professor convinced him of marrying a man. Probably opened up his eyes and gave him compassion. And what else did he say? Humility.
There's a lot of memes on Michelle Obama. I'm not sold on that. I am sold that Barack Obama, the way they got their claws into him and were able to manipulate him was they compromised him before he was president because he had tendencies, not just with men, but possibly illicit substances as well. And they had him on video with that. That's what I'm willing to guess.
Tendencies. Okay. This is an important clip that I have.
Oh, this is an older clip I brought up because it popped up on my feed, and this is an important clip, like you said.
So from Corey Morgan says every Canadian and everybody around the world, I would say, should watch this. A farmer is forced to dump thousands of liters of good milk down the drain because supply management makes it illegal for him to sell it. This is a sick system where while families struggle with food prices.
And Donald Trump has called out the dairy cartel specifically in Canada. The dairy cartel is representative of a lot of big corporate cartels within Canada, like the telecommunication industry. They tell these farmers exactly how much of that milk they're allowed to sell, and if there is any excess, they're forced to dump it out. They can't give it to the homeless. They can't give it to the food banks. They can't give it to anybody. Food banks are begging for food in Canada, and this would be a perfect opportunity for the government to say, work together.
Yes.
Hey guys, we're here at Hiddenbos Farm in southern Ontario. We milk about 260 cows. Right now during the winter months, you milk quite a bit more milk because the feed is very consistent. And as you do a good job, you will produce quite a bit of milk. So, but right now we're over our quota. It's regulated by the government and by the DFO. But the problem is what they don't understand is millions of people look at this milk running away because it's the end of the month. So I have to dump 30,000 liters of milk. It breaks my heart. I will show you. By the way, this here, Canadian milk, it's $7 a liter. When I go for my haircut, people say, wow, $7, Jerry, for a little bit of milk. I say, well, you have to go higher up. Because we have no say anymore as a dairy farmer on our own farm because they make us dump it. And no matter how we stand up, so this time I'm going public. I want the people to see the pain that us growers have of 365 days. As a little boy, we grew up on a dairy farm, came from Europe, work, and here we are. This is what's happening.
Yeah, and it's important farmers, blue-collar workers, and people do start standing up because that's going to hurt him overall. You know the Canadian government's going to come after him for that. So good on him for standing up. I hope more farmers do that. There is a ton of dirty behavior going on between the government and farmers and other industries. So,
and also, I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid to speak up and stand up, but I think now, especially, but now with the Carney government, at least in Canada, more people are also willing to listen, I would think, and to actually understand what's going on. Because before, a lot of people would have said, this is a conspiracy theory, this is not true, the government is doing it for X, Y, Z reason. But because people are seeing the food prices go up and seeing how insane life in Canada has become, and also with the tariffs, especially with the dairy industry from the US, etc., people, I think, are more willing to listen and be listened to.
And we're going to head over to RUMBB.
Rafa has a comment.
Oh, okay.
Says, WTF, $7. I buy mine raw for just 20 pesos. Yep. And I mean, in Vancouver, it was around, 7 or 8 before we left.
It's constantly going up. They price fix in Canada with a lot of different industries, whether it's the insurance industry, the government being the only provider. So you have to buy your car insurance through the government. Or whether it's the dairy cartel, which there's just a few big members of the dairy cartel that provides all the milk, and they're in cahoots with the government. It's one of the strongest cartels within the Canadian government. Trump is calling them out. The Canadian politicians are standing strong with this price fixing. But
also, the milk in Canada, when we moved here, and I noticed it very strongly, but also when I've gone to other parts in the world, the milk in Canada tastes weird and watery anyways. And I know that that's not what's coming out of those cows and his cows, but they get so processed, and who knows what else they do to the milk or the other food items that just everything tastes very watered down in Canada. And when we moved to Mexico and I used to not really drink milk anymore but when we moved here, I was like, oh my God, this is what milk used to taste like. It's supposed to taste like. And that's not even the raw one. That's the one from the store. The raw one was even better.
I'm not too sure if the cows in Mexico are jibby jab, but I know the cows in Canada are jibby jab. So, which is crazy.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to head over to RUMBLE right now. We got a couple stories that are a little bit too hot for YouTube, and we like to get the audience to follow us over there in case a war or another jibby jab situation happens, so we can actually have free speech and not censor ourselves.
Yes, so we'll see you over there. And channel name is the same there as well.
Okay.
Hold on.
When you log out of there, I'm going to log into RUMBLE.
Okay. You can say Rumble now.
Oh, I can. Perfect.